The following is an AI-based parody, created for satire and entertainment purposes. All voices, conversations, and scenarios are artificially generated and do not represent the opinions, actions, or voices of any individuals represented. This content is not meant to confuse or misinform.
And I'm back in the driver's seat.
Gotta say, things did not go great for you last time, Barack.
You had an even worse episode than I did for Grissom Academy.
Everyone has an off day. I'm locked back in now.
We'll see. Donald and I gave the audience back-to-back zero-death episodes.
Goddamn Cerberus bastards. And Udina, too. Son of a bitch.
It's about time these two started saying something worth listening to.
He got what he deserved.
My only regret is we won't get the chance to piss on his gravestone.
Lead on something interesting. Have you got a minute?
Sam throwing us another side mission.
I found something you need to see.
What have you got?
A group of Cerberus scientists cut ties in.
This will be my first assignment for the episode, Ex-Cerberus Scientists.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see who we run into on this mission.
Just remember, Donald, Jacob is alive because of you. You had the chance to kill him.
Sometimes it's better to keep clowns around so you can laugh at them.
I know it's common practice to hate on Jacob, but if I'm being totally honest, I don't dislike him so much that I deliberately let him die on the suicide mission, more than once.
Cerberus is committing now. I was on Horizon when the Collectors attacked.
Wait, I forgot about that.
We didn't rescue the people abducted during the Horizon attack.
No, but remember they only got half the colony before we chased them off. Presumably Samantha and her family were somewhere else on the colony stuck in that stasis field and were freed when the collector vessel left.
They've been unable to find them, but they're searching. As is Cerberus. I've been monitoring Cerberus communications.
It's kind of crazy that she can monitor Cerberus and not be caught.
I'm pretty sure Edie is handling any attempts to stop Trainer.
She might not know how to fire a gun, but she's earning her keep on the Normandy.
Yes.
Nice work. Put it on the map and I'll give it a look.
It's on the map now, Commander. Thanks.
So Cerberus wanted to go into politics, huh? Nice job shutting those assholes down.
Big mistake on their
You
part.
used to work for those assholes? Something about leather seats?
It was nice of the Alliance to leave the leather seats on the ship.
Well, it's already there. It would be a waste of time to replace them now. I'm surprised they didn't drain the fish tank up in the captain's cabin immediately, though.
The retrofits were incomplete anyway.
He even remembered the first rule of serving on the Normandy. Don't shoot the commander.
I sure as hell tried to
Go
shoot him,
easy
though.
on Cait. He's been through a lot.
Yeah, like drawing a gun on a superior officer, nearly getting the council killed. That's not gonna look good on the yearly performance review.
Well, he's still a Spectre, so I guess it won't impact him too much.
Hello, Shepard.
The way Edie gets up is always a little unsettling.
It's because of how quick and efficient it is. Usually when someone gets up, they ease into it. Edie just flies to her feet without resistance.
Yeah, so now all we need is a gun that fires Thresher Moths.
Hold on, Brittle Bones over there might be onto something.
Donald getting a gun that fires Thresher
That
Moths
was a
would
joke.
require actually corralling the
I'm sorry,
Moths to be
Shepard.
used as
I
ammo.
was
Good luck with that.
contemplating. The Reapers are more fallible than they proclaim. Despite its best efforts, the one on Tuchanka was destroyed by a worm.
You know, with everything in context, the Reapers don't really seem all that powerful.
This comes up from time to time, but Mass Effect is pretty low on the totem pole when it comes to sci-fi power scaling.
My processing power is
The Codex
consumed
states
with
Reaper
calculations
capabilities
to
are in the
combat
hundreds of
Reapers.
kilotons of
But I can
TNT
run those
when it comes
scenarios
to
with the rest
destructive
of the crew.
power, which, to be quite frank, ain't shit.
May I ask you another question?
The only scary thing about Reapers is indoctrination.
Here we go again.
What is the purpose of synthetic life?
Oh, this should be interesting.
Unless they're hot, their purpose is to be blown up.
Well, the purpose of synthetic life is most certainly whatever it was designed to do. That's what their creators intended. However, what synthetic life actually chooses to do is an entirely different matter.
I actually don't disagree coming from that point of view, I
Just
guess.
ask the creators what it was.
But my creation was planned by Cerberus. I no longer serve their purposes.
Well, like Barack said,
Cerberus
you're
was
choosing
originally
not to do
created to
that.
give humanity a fighting chance. Right now, that might be a goal you can get behind.
It would take significant resources and processing power. Do you think I would find it worthwhile?
Well, you could do it as a favor to me. I'd make a pretty crappy husk.
I'm not going to lie to you, Jeff. They would probably just turn you into organic
How would
goo
this
and shove
differ
you
from
into
our
a
present
Reaper
course?
skeleton.
Well, you want to be here with us, right, Edie?
We'd be
difference
really
is you
cooked if she
decide
was
it's
like,
worth it.
no, and then
No
ejected
one tells
everyone.
you it is.
I see. I will examine this issue. Shepard, I have examined the issue.
I wish I could break down
Reapers
philosophical
threaten the crew of the
questions
ship
that
and
fast.
other organics who are helping me develop perspectives on existence. Were I to approach Reapers to request similar perspectives, it is likely I would be destroyed.
Most certainly, they barely tolerate the Geth. I don't know if they'd appreciate the fact Edie was created using parts from Sovereign.
So ultimately, Edie's relationship with us is transactional?
All relationships are a little transactional.
I prefer that to Edie simply deciding to alter her processing power to a bunch of empty platitudes like duty, altruism, and love. At least in this outcome, she's telling us what she wants, which is to gather more perspectives on existence.
We know she isn't going to go and space everyone then. Every person is another point of view for her to learn from.
The doctor wants to see us, we'll take care of that. And let's have a look at our emails, too.
Oh, damn, everyone is blowing us up.
Here we have an email from Kelly thanking us again for saving her life.
Smart of her to hide the sender information.
I guess Cerberus calling for her by name made her smarten up.
She probably shouldn't have included her name at the bottom of it, though, but it worked out.
And it looks like it's finally time to help Aria retake Omega.
I was wondering when that would appear.
It was set to trigger after Priority Citadel 2, which seems to be a popular choice among people who use the Expanded Galaxy mod. Of course, that responsibility won't be falling to me. Rather, it's for Joe to pick up next episode.
Oh God, I have to do all of Omega in one episode?
Yep, it'll be a long one for sure. And some members of the crew want to see us in Shepard's cabin. I will take care of that after the typical run around the Normandy. And before we leave the terminal, you'll notice the attack on Kamala email at the top there.
I still can't believe there's a planet called Kamala in the continuity.
Here's one: attack on Kamala is another name for the 2024 election.
Man, 6 out of 10, Donald.
Everyone's a critic.
It's just a scanning mission, but we'll probably pass by it and talk about it later. Long story short, it's a processing site for turning Batarians into cannibals. The remnants of the Batarians propose a joint attack. Their teams are on the ground and plan to plant nukes at key locations and need extraction. This attack will make Kamala uninhabitable, but it's what's needed. Admiral Hackett doesn't trust them, naturally. While Admiral Lindholm disagrees, what do you boys think?
I don't know how this turns out, and I don't trust Batarians.
Either A, we blow up some Reaper forces and call it a day, or B, we get to wipe out the rest of the Batarians for betraying us. It's a win-win in my book.
Or the entire First Fleet is lost.
All right, we'll deploy the First Fleet and see how things shape out.
Are you mourning the loss, Garrus? I know a thing or two about that.
The former mourner-in-chief over here, ladies and gentlemen.
This would be a lot more somber if you had a crap ton of names because you screwed up the suicide mission.
By the way, Barry, what happens if you do kill the Vermeer survivor? Does anyone care?
If it were Caden, I sure wouldn't.
There's a variety of reactions. Joker is angry at the VS for not believing in Shepard despite all we've been through. They have a back and forth about working for Cerberus, and Edie eventually steps in to ease tensions.
Checks out, Joker isn't exactly as hardened as the rest of the team.
As you might expect, Garrus is understanding of the situation no matter what you say, even admitting that he liked the Vermeer survivor. The interesting part is, if Garrus ends up having to be the one to pull the trigger, he'll be the one to put their name up on the memorial. Garrus claims killing the VS was the hardest life he took.
Hold up, there's kind of a crazy scenario if you romance Caden in 1 and then let Garrus kill him in 3.
Damn, that's some messy business.
Caden, you're staring at Metal Buddy.
Just raise the shutters for him.
What does Liara say if the Vermeer survivor dies?
Liara reminisces about how much Caden helped her by explaining protocol or by talking to her. She also says Caden being a biotic made her feel like humans were less alien to her. Conversely, Liara admits to being afraid of Ashley's intensity. She apologizes if she has to shoot them.
Can't blame her for that. Ash wasn't exactly friendly back in 1.
You wouldn't be friendly if it was your first time interacting with aliens either.
Unsurprisingly, Javik will admit that he was glad if he's the one to kill the Vermeer survivor, though he ends that thought with the fact that he's done worse. James and Edie don't have dialogue on the matter.
He's presumed.
Yeah, he's dead, sucks to suck.
Now, I'm really glad you screwed up killing Caden. Mrs. Alenko has lost enough.
I'll be interested to know how many of you watching have actually seen this dialogue. Not everyone plays the trilogy a billion times, so this is probably new to a lot of people.
In all this.
It's terrible. But you can't help them, Caden. You have to keep it together.
That was a surprisingly gentle bottom dialogue option.
It's more productive. Everyone on this ship is losing someone. Well, except for Adams, I guess. If we're stuck with this piece of plywood, he might as well lock in.
Use it. That's how I cope.
It's how we coped when we watched our parents get melted by flamethrowers or whatever happened to them on Mindoor.
They really should have brought that up at a time like this.
Guns blazing. The whole galaxy behind us.
Yeah. And my students. Well, wherever they are. I know they're kicking ass. On Earth or somewhere.
Or, you know, maybe they're dead.
I kind of like that Caden and Jack, 2 human biotics that went through hell to get their powers, ended up as mentors to more biotic kids.
It's a nice plot line. Unfortunately, we only hear about it in passing in Caden's case.
Good to have you back, Caden.
All right, well, he's still boring.
That was a really solid conversation, Donald. You're being a hater.
I'll hate until I'm dust and bones.
Yeah, Donald, we get it.
Hey, I bumped into Edie in the hall. Scared the shit out of me.
Oh, our bad
Could
Caden.
have warned me. She looks good, though.
Okay, maybe he has some taste after all.
Caden is taking the existence of the full-fledged AI that's in control of the ship surprisingly well.
Just the clothes on my back and a few things I've picked up on the Citadel. Kind of like it. Living lean. Cerberus didn't cut corners rebuilding this place. There's a whole lot of credits in here.
There's a whole lot of credits inside Shepard, too.
And Cerberus lost both. What a colossal waste of money.
You did say you were a financial backer of Cerberus, Donald.
Another day, another occurrence of Donald making a bad business decision.
Hey, Barry, who's that lady?
That's a member of the medical team that was hired through the crew manifest. Her name is Andrea Cornyn. She's one of 5 people you can pick from.
Commander, an opportunity has come to my attention that may interest you.
Low-key, I don't know what the doctor wants from us right now.
This is the Citadel Medical Supplies side mission, which someone else is going to have to take care some other time.
What's the benefit?
You always got to get something out of helping someone.
This unlocks the med bay surgery intel, which will give us the option to either heal Shepard's scars or give us a 5% boost to our total health.
It's crazy that we have to unlock the ability to heal our scars, even though we had it back in 2.
Also, you'll get a bonus reward if you have enough reputation to pick a renegade or paragon dialogue. If your doctor is Chakwas, you'll get an efficiency increase to your Medi-Gel, giving you a 50% chance of it not being consumed when you heal the squad. If you have Dr. Michelle instead, you'll get 2 additional units of Medi-Gel.
Well, we're not healing the scars, so we'll take that 5% health boost.
That's not for you to unilaterally decide, Donald.
Honestly, I could use that 5% health boost.
Fine, we'll discuss it
With
later.
access to their equipment and materials, I believe I could increase the effectiveness of our Medi-Gel.
I find using my biotics to toss someone across the room is a decent attention grabber.
Good to see Liara and Caden getting
It's also
along.
a good way to draw enemy fire.
Well, you can handle yourself in a fight now, Liara. I mean, not that your biotics weren't impressive the first time we met.
She has gotten pretty strong for a nerd who likes to study rocks.
Not every Asari learns how to fight with their biotics, but I imagine Liara's mother had her learn as a means of self-defense.
Few stories to tell.
Thanks for coming by.
Damn, no dialogue for us at all? You don't want to talk about the damn Citadel coup we just stopped.
Unfortunately, Liara doesn't seem to say a whole lot if you aren't romancing her.
Well, damn, chat, she hates us.
Traitors are the worst form of enemy.
Yeah, I know all about
In our
that.
cycle, we would remove their limbs one by one and offer them a choice. Eat their own flesh or starve.
You know, I really like that idea. Hey, Joe, you want to try that?
I'll pass, thanks.
I feel like removing their limbs would do the trick, but I guess making them eat themselves rubs salt in the wound.
Only one enemy in this war. Reapers. No others will be tolerated.
And there's your regular Java quote for the
I would
episode.
like to visit the Citadel sometime, when it is not infested with traitors.
Yeah, we'll get around to that some other time.
I've heard about the Kailang human you encountered. It is good to have a name for the enemy I will enjoy killing most.
Get in line, buddy.
Bro woke up in this timeline and automatically knows who needs to die.
We can give you the satisfaction of seeing a dead Reaper Javak, but Kai Lang is ours to kill.
Kenan, have you seen the new poker table up in the lounge?
It is funny that of all the rooms on the Normandy, the lounge is one of the ones in the best shape, despite the incomplete retrofits.
Right.
My man Kenneth always coming up with the right ideas.
Too?
Nah, she bring cameras and record the whole thing.
And if you lose, you don't want the whole galaxy knowing how little you bring to the table.
Damn, Gabby actually threw a good jab back.
Back roll is just fine.
Shepard, thanks again for being there at the refugee memorial.
Yep, anytime, bro.
So this means Cortez's life is secured, right?
Indeed, he's over the worst of his grief now, so he won't die on priority Earth.
Citadel. I can't believe Udina. Great example to the other races, huh?
Well, I made Anderson the first counselor, so it shouldn't be that bad.
She arrived at the Alliance research facility safe and sound.
And I hear Esteban got to play the hero with a damsel in distress.
You know me and my damsels, Mr. Vega.
That I do.
What in the hell does that even mean?
I think these boys just be down here saying random bullshit sometimes.
Hey, Commander. I knew Udina was a dirty bastard, but I never would have guessed he was that rotten.
If you'd been with us back in 1, you'd have seen it coming, James.
I mean, can't they all see how we need to work together?
When people are scared, they're slow to trust.
Sure, but... what's the point?
There is no point. Everyone is
Just so you
stupid.
know, I've got a new shoot first, ask questions later policy when it comes to politicians.
Well, let's not get
Fair
too
enough.
hasty there, James. I've had enough of that.
Trainer, if you're
All
not
right,
doing
we've got
anything
some
after a few
appointments with
hours,
some members of the crew before I head off on my missions.
This is where you can start your romance with Samantha if you're female Shepard, right?
Yep. which was Sam's plan the entire time. She says she wants chess but wastes no time hopping in the shower, with Shepard joining her shortly after, fully clothed for some reason, but whatever.
Going from a boring game of chess to a fun time under the water, damn she moves fast.
That's an understatement. Before the end of the game, Sam is going on about a house with a white picket fence and a couple of kids.
Resembled a challenge. So, interested?
This is a trap, isn't it?
It's a trap.
I'm just a simple lab scientist, Commander. I'm sure your real-world expertise will give you an edge.
I can tell this is going to go poorly.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shepard's ability to lead a squad through a suicide mission doesn't translate well to a game of chess.
Oh, come on.
My word, Commander. It's almost as though you wanted to spare your pawns the indignity of living under my regime.
Well, next time it's a game of Skilly and 5 poker. We'll see who's laughing then.
Well, in real life, one doesn't move on an 8x8 square grid.
It's like the opposite of when kids who play COD think it translates to real life.
A good infantry line, like the Krogan, can take a charge like that.
That reminds me of a joke. What's the difference between Commander Shepard and a Krogan? One is an unstoppable...
So, funny story, my very first time playing the game I did, in fact, try to hit on Samantha. Needless to say, I learned quickly I'm not her type.
Sam is cute, but not my thing, so I don't know what she says if you flirt with her.
It's actually not that bad. Shepard apologizes for assuming she was interested, and Sam apologizes, noting that she was just being friendly. She also reminds us that she liked Edie's voice, which clues Shepard into the fact that she likes women. Sam then taunts you, saying she'll get to tell her friends she broke Commander Shepard's heart and crushed him in chess, which Shepard takes on the chin.
There are worse ways to be turned down, not that I'd know.
I do want to point out that Sam is technically our subordinate, and that such a liaison is definitely against Alliance regs.
Joe, we didn't give a damn about that back when galactic civilization was still stable. Why the hell would we start caring when everything is breaking down at the Foundation?
You're right, I just felt it was worth saying.
I mean, we're at least culturally recognized as Tully's ship captain. We're well past the point of worrying about the power balance of our relationship.
Man, I can't wait to see Tali again.
Just another episode after this one, and we'll be reunited.
And thank God Donald isn't in control this episode, so he can't make us sleep with Diana.
I wasn't going to do that.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah, you're right. I absolutely would have if I were in control.
Commander, it's no secret that Council Space has suffered some serious losses to the Reapers lately. Now Cerberus has struck directly at the seat of our government. If something as small as a human terrorist organization can hit the Citadel, is anywhere safe?
No. How many times do we need to tell you clowns the Reapers are here? We're not safe.
You really don't give a damn about the PR here.
If those agents had been exposed, a lot of lives might have been saved. We need constant vigilance. C-Sec and the troops can't do this alone.
The best thing Cerberus did was attack the Citadel. Folks were way too comfortable.
Portion of our government, the most obvious human figure being the Counselor. The Alliance Parliament is destroyed, and the Prime Minister's dead. The line of succession is getting pretty short. How long do you expect any new Alliance administration to last?
We got the Alliance administration right here, Hackett in space, Anderson down on Earth, and Shepard running diplomacy between the aliens.
It's not like Udina was really doing anything anyway.
Not beaten. Right now, it's everyone's duty to step up.
All right. Now a question from Thessia. Commander, during your tribunal, some said you had Cerberus ties.
Oh, for crying out loud, we just settled that business with Caden.
Thanks for your time, Commander. This is Diana Allers for Battlespace. Good night, and stay strong. Be careful, Commander. You keep feeding me like this, and I'll follow you home.
I mean, you're already up in our cabin.
Even if I were interested, this doesn't count as an actual romance at all. Even Kelly's is more fleshed out.
Of course you did. Me and my big mouth. I'd better get out of here before I send another wrong signal. See ya, Commander.
That definitely seemed more awkward than what you described happens when Sam rejects you.
Why the hell did her camera just float towards us and shake from side to side in disapproval?
I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw
James,
that.
I've got some time if you want to talk privately.
On my way. Hey, man, how's it going?
Good, James. You?
Good, good.
The average conversation between two bros before they hop on the game and barely speak for 8 hours.
So this is what I can look forward to when I get my own command.
This was supposed to be Anderson's room, but as always, it goes to us anyway.
Your own ship, Vega?
Yeah, maybe one day. When I'm old and I can't fight worth shit anymore.
Why the hell is he treating us like we're an old man? How old is James anyway?
He's got to be at least 28. James joined the Alliance in 2176, 10 years prior to 3.
Maybe I got some things on
Shepard is 32 chronologically right now.
This whole thing where you're old and decrepit the moment you turn 30 has been beaten beyond death.
What did you do when they asked you to join the N7 program? I mean, was it a no-brainer for you, or Did you think about it before accepting?
I imagine Bart and Joe Shepard didn't hesitate when it came to getting N7 training.
Are there any details on N7 training? It comes up a lot, but I don't know a lot about it.
I'm sure there's a detailed explanation in the codex that Barack has been itching to dig into.
You know me so well, Donald. N7 training, as the layman calls it, takes place at the Interplanetary Combatives Academy, which you'll recall from the explanation on Kai Lang's history. The recruits partake in grueling courses at Villa Militar in Rio de Janeiro.
Even all the shit that's going on.
If it's their first time at the school, the trainees participate in scenarios experienced by elite units of most land-based armies, spending more than 20 hours a day in the field, leading small units into combat over hostile terrain with minimal food and sleep. Those who do well here are awarded the designation of N1 and are invited to return to the school for further training.
So when James said he got an N7 commendation, he means he got an offer to that academy.
Sounds like getting N1 is hard enough by itself.
Yes, just getting N1 is a pretty big accomplishment.
I guess I'm just not sure if
Subsequent courses will move you through N2 to N6. These courses are held off-planet, including zero-G combat, jetpack flight, combat diving, close quarters combat, trauma care for humans, alien biology, and assault procedures.
I guess that explains the jetpack movement in Andromeda.
2 of the known off-school training sites are known to be Jupiter's moon Europa and Arcturus Station.
Pour one out for Arcturus Station.
It can be rebuilt.
Technically, the highest grade of training is N6, which provides actual combat experience in conflict zones throughout the galaxy. Invitees are given basic gear and separated and stranded on an asteroid with no navigation. The test ends when the last person starts to run out of oxygen.
I killed him.
The first few to fall are out of the program. Those who survive until the end in, quote, admirable and effective fashion are given the coveted N7 designation.
Those who survive, do people die getting this?
There's no shame in failing the courses. Even qualifying for N1 elevates an officer to a position of respect.
And if you were promoted,
There's universal prestige of merely attending the academy, which helps keep trainees from taking excessive risk in pursuit of high honors. Right now, there are only 6 known N7 graduates. David Anderson, who was among the first graduates of the program. Kai Lang, as we mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
There's Alec Ryder from Andromeda, who was also among the first graduates. Captain Lee Riley, who we'll meet sometime later on. There's also Susan Rizzi, an N7 Fury you might have heard discussing item procurement at the Silver Sun Strip. And last but certainly not least, Commander Shepard.
I'm surprised Admiral Hackett isn't on the list.
He probably just wasn't interested. Hackett is noted as having an affinity for science and leadership, and made a rare ascent from enlisted man to admiral.
Well, James has his work cut out for him if he goes through with it after the Reaper War.
Getting winded on Menai doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but maybe James will lock in when he starts training.
The bed's a lot harder than it looks.
Let me guess, he flirts with you if you're a woman there.
Completely correct.
Thanks again, Loco.
Anytime.
Okay, I lied. One last conversation.
You're blue balling me, Barack.
Are you really in that much of a rush to see Jacob again anyway?
No, but I know on the other side of Jacob comes Samara, and I'm trying to start barking again.
I have a feeling you're going to be disappointed when you see her, Donald.
That's literally impossible.
All right, we'll see then.
Gives hope to the guys in the trenches.
I know what that's like, fighting in the dark. I'm glad we're making a difference.
It's more than that. A lot of these people have never held a gun in their life.
It would be cool if there was some kind of side story where you get to play through Anderson's time on Earth while Shepard is building alliances in space.
You mean kind of like Halo 3 ODST?
Yeah, something like that.
I would like to know how Anderson got past that big-ass Reaper that blew up the pair of shuttles we saw when we were leaving Earth. Also, how he manages to get all the way from Vancouver to London by the end of the game.
They could have dropped the game with a series of missions where we go from Vancouver across other North American cities with missions like Priority Austin and Priority Atlanta, all the way up to Priority London, and along the way Anderson is killing Reapers and recruiting allies.
I wonder why the Reapers picked London, though. It's hardly the most populous city in the world.
London is one of the most important cities in the world. Given its proximity to the rest of Europe, Asia, and Africa, it makes sense the Reapers would set up shop there. Plus, it's nice that an alien invasion doesn't decide places outside of the United States don't exist.
It's also possible that it's not that deep and they just picked a city they wanted.
Sure, maybe that's true as well.
Reapers may seem like our biggest threat, but take it from me. Lang is a vicious bastard. Don't underestimate him.
Anderson, I respect your warning, but I am not stressing about Kai Lang.
The game cannot convince me he's a serious threat.
Anderson out.
All right, let's stop by Kamala real quick.
I have a feeling this isn't going to go well.
It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, not enough Batarians get taken out for starters.
I think we're here to help the Batarians.
Oh yeah, right, I forgot about that.
Well, look at that. It's an Allied victory.
The mission was accomplished, but not without losses. We lost some of the Batarian fleet and the entire planet is uninhabitable now. Whatever amount of colonists here also perished.
I'm completely fine with that.
Wait, what was the point in doing this then?
We picked up some more points thanks to that Batarian Special Intervention Unit. Also thought I'd show off another mod mission thing.
All right, finally, we can get to business.
The beta plan for this mission involved Shepard getting directed to an important asset in strengthening the building of the Crucible. An ex-Cerberus scientist and Prothean expert named Kinesia, who is listed as being Jacob's, quote, beautiful ex-girlfriend.
They can't write a single Jacob storyline without it having some drama in it.
There's no mention of Jacob and Kinesia getting back together, so I wonder if the decision to have Jacob leave Shepard was something they decided later on.
I probably wouldn't like Jacob anyway, but did they want us to dislike him?
It's hard to say. If you're a male Shepard, Jacob isn't that bad. He's just a guy who's really boring and gives the worst advice in Mass Effect 2. But if you're a lady, well, I can't imagine why they decided to write a romance where you can be betrayed through no fault of your own.
At least when the Vermeer survivor leaves you, it's because you're working for a terrorist organization that kills Alliance admirals and tortures young children.
It also doesn't help that this mission doesn't really depend on Jacob being alive. If he's dead, a man named Dr. Weber takes his place, and it impacts exactly one thing that doesn't really matter.
Man, those guys did a bad job covering Jacob.
Where the hell is Bro's barrier at? He's a biotic.
I take back what I said before about all the members of Shepard's squad being suitable Spectre candidates. A Spectre wouldn't be struggling like this.
It's like they want us to think Jacob sucks.
We're not just being haters here either. Think about how the other squad mates are presented when we reunite with them. Liera kills a couple Cerberus guys, Grunt is leading his own team and kills a bunch of bugs. Jack is handling business, protecting her students, and even Thane is terminally ill but handles Kylane. And then we have Jacob getting shot down by some nameless Cerberus people.
Well put, Donald. It's hard to respect Jacob as a character when the writing doesn't do it either.
At least Mass Effect pretends like Kai Lang is serious business. He's not. But the dialogue is there.
Goddamn, I love this thing.
The sound is music to the ears, just a nice steady rhythm.
I don't think firing a grenade launcher in the direction of the people we're trying to rescue is a great idea.
Most of them are already dead anyway. Jacob did a piss-poor job protecting them.
Now that I think about it, even the Vermeer survivor does a good enough job at keeping the Council safe on the Citadel.
Damn good dodge there, Barry.
I got to lock in this episode. The last time I played was not a good look at all.
Okay, wait a second. I thought my eyes were fooling me here, but don't the Cerberus forces look a little different?
I wanted to say something, but I was afraid you'd say I just forgot.
Yeah, I guess Cerberus went through some upgrades after their defeat on the Citadel.
This is a mod you installed when we're halfway through, isn't it?
Yeah, well, turns out the game could have been modded even further, and I felt like showing it off. It's the Cerberus Retrofit mod, and I'm sure you'll see other enemy factions looking a bit different going forward.
Wade Jacob ran out here and got shot saving someone who was already dead.
Taylor, this is one pathetic sight to behold.
And to think he's one of the viable fire team leaders on the suicide mission.
I'll live. I think.
Bro just sat here and gave up over a bullet wound. What the hell would he have done if we never showed up?
He would have fucking died, obviously.
This is Commander Shepard of the Alliance. The enemy is clear for now. Open the door.
It's okay, Bryn.
The most useful thing Jacob did was vouch for Shepard so we could get inside.
That is unironically the only difference in the mission. If Jacob is dead, Bryn doesn't trust Shepard, even saying that she'll own it if the guy who replaces Jacob bleeds out.
Jacob.
Some more Cerberus forces drop in and Shepard has to kill them.
I'm all right.
And that gets Bryn to open the door.
I guess the other dozen guys we killed when we got here didn't count.
Weirdly enough, the reason Bryn doesn't trust Shepard is because we work for Cerberus.
Are they gone?
Which is something we share in common with literally every adult in this facility.
And it's not like we left Cerberus peacefully. We kind of gave the elusive man a massive middle finger on our way out the door.
Save my life one more time and I'll start owing you.
This one's on the
No, it's not. I want 500,000 credits.
Hey, yo. Good to see you too.
Staying out of trouble, I see.
I guess the walking synthetic didn't register for him.
You know, in general, people should be less calm when faced with EDI. Any kind of artificial intelligence at all should be a cause for panic, especially now.
It's a good thing no one knows she was created using technology gathered from
Call
Sovereign.
us refugees. If we hadn't run, we'd be dead.
Why does the elusive man want to kill you?
Our stories are different, but the themes are the same. We were each using information from the collector base to work on the different components of a large...
So that's our hint that blowing the thing up didn't completely destroy it.
They disappeared. No bodies, just gone. As we progressed, we started feeling like we were signing each other's death warrants.
That just further supports my assumption that the members of the crew during Mass Effect 2 that reported back to Cerberus are definitely dead.
Damn, rest in peace to Rupert and the rest of them. I don't know their names. I just remember the guy who tried to escort Joker during the Collector invasion.
That was crewman Hawthorne, by the way.
We covered our bases.
But the elusive man is one tenacious bastard.
More like a petty bastard, bro. Just launched a failed coup on the Citadel, and now he's wasting more forces on this motley crew.
In fairness, this is actually probably something worth trying to contain. Bryn and her team were doing something pretty important if they were messing with stuff from the Collector base.
I'll check and meet you upstairs.
Jacob, you should get that wound looked at.
I'm good. I mean, I will.
All right, bro. I know your girl is here, but stop trying to be a hero.
I should see to my people. Join me upstairs when you can.
Jacob did not recognize me. This may be an opportunity to surprise him.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
Now that I think about it, it's possible Bryn and her people saw Dr. Eva when she was built at some point or another. Maybe that's why they're not shocked.
Speaking of which, Barack, why the hell did you put Edie in her clothes?
Donald, if we're going to integrate Edie into the world, we can't have her strutting around buck naked.
Why not? With the Reaper invasion, the old norms are going to die out anyway. Plus the Geth don't wear clothes.
Yeah, well, the Geth don't have massive titties, so I don't think it's comparable.
Man, this is a riveting conversation. Definitely one for the record books.
Oh God, it's a character that's actually worse than Jacob.
Why is bro extending his hand like we didn't threaten to kill him the last time we saw him?
Unsurprisingly, Gavin has absolutely zero social skills.
I tried putting all that behind me.
What business does he have trying to put what he did to David behind him? He should be reflecting on that shit every second of his life.
So we can be honest and tell him that David is safe. Or we can tell him we don't know anything about Grissom Academy, which will make Gavin walk away and do his best Ronald Taylor impersonation.
It's what he deserves and what we should have done the last time we saw him.
Yeah, but let me guess, keeping this loser alive gets us war assets.
Yes, but that's not why I'm going to let Gavin stay alive. I think death is too easy for him. Ronald Taylor was too far gone. Gavin, on the other hand, can live the rest of his life guilty about what he's done, knowing he'll never see David again. Unless he wants Bard and Joe Shepard to show up to shoot him like we promised.
Whatever, we let Balak go last episode, and he's technically a lot worse.
There have to be alternatives to this encounter with Gavin, right?
Of course. If you actually do fail to go to Grissom Academy, Gavin will find out about what happened and just walk away to blow his brains out.
That's more like it, short and sweet to the point.
If you allow David to stay at Project Overlord, Gavin will reveal that the data on controlling the Geth was actually useful. And that David eventually calmed down, but that one day he just stopped responding to any stimuli at all. And Gavin was forced to pull the plug on his life support as a mercy kill. This causes Gavin to leave Cerberus.
First of all, you're never going to catch me letting David stay on the Overlord project. Second of all, are you sure we can't just kill Gavin?
No, my mind is made up. If you never do the Overlord assignment, Gavin will eventually explain that his brother went out of control and killed several scientists. Cerberus eventually drops nukes on the Overlord base, and while Gavin survives in this scenario, he doesn't join as a war asset. And lastly, interestingly enough, if you let the Geth be wiped out during Priority Rannoch and haven't helped David at any point, Gavin will realize all of David's suffering was for nothing. And as you might expect, he promptly ends himself.
Thanks for that. I wanted another reason to let the bots be wiped out.
Not my intention, Donald, but I'm glad you're paying attention in class.
Oh, thank God. Commander, you have no idea what that means.
Yeah, whatever you say, you bastard.
Worrying about his safety now.
I never stopped.
Goddamn, even as a president, I'm blown away by how boldly he lies.
I'm sure Gavin actually believes he never stopped caring about David in his own deluded little universe. But actions speak louder than words, my boy.
What happened to Project Overlord?
After your intervention, the elusive man insisted I find another test subject. Someone who shared my brother David's abilities.
And that's going straight into the obviously evil things folder.
So I destroyed all of my research. Overlord is no more.
What are you doing here?
I strayed too far from the path. This was my only refuge. As a boy, I wanted to be a scientist remembered for doing right by the world, curing a disease or discovering a new element.
I wonder where it all went sideways.
I don't know, probably around the time he joined the human supremacist terrorist organization.
What did you say to the elusive man?
I told him if his intention was to work with the devil, he only had to look in the mirror.
If the elusive man is the devil, what's that make you? One of his demons?
That was Bar's Joe.
If it had been that easy, I wouldn't be hiding here. Every Cerberus soldier in the galaxy has orders to shoot me on sight.
What do you know, Cerberus and I have something in common on this matter.
I'm not even going to pretend it was good to see you again.
I understand. But Commander, thank you for saving David. Both times.
Well, someone had to, and it damn well wasn't going to be his so-called brother.
And make sure those samples from Project Mia get out on the second shuttle.
I've already dropped one box. My hands were shaking so hard.
We're going to make it.
Yeah, you'll make it, but no thanks to Jacob.
Speaking of which, is Jacob here by default, Barry?
Yes, funny enough, among the many Mass Effect 2 squad mates who aren't here by default like Thane, Jack, and Grunt, Jacob does still retain his role in the universe.
So you're telling me that not only does Gavin Archer automatically get to survive, Jacob is still in the game? My God, default Mass Effect 3 really is the worst timeline.
If you think that's bad, Donald, you're really not going to like what I have to say next mission. But we'll worry about that when I get to it.
Wait, there are families here? Children?
A dangerous choice.
Thank you for your astute observation, Edie.
So these refugees brought everyone with them?
Yes. We have about 17 kids here. Partners, spouses, parents.
Well, damn, a whole lot of those kids just became orphans, and some more of them just became widows because Jacob couldn't lock in and remember he's a biotic.
We'll add them to the list of all the other orphans and widows all across the galaxy.
And not one more lost. This escape will have to be carefully executed.
I'd hoped. We tried so hard to make sure it wouldn't come to this.
Well, to be honest, Bryn, it was either Cerberus found you or the Reapers. And I'm not gonna lie, I think you got the easier outcome.
I'm going to the roof. Cerberus landed a shuttle there a couple minutes ago. You in?
Jacob, you're injured. I'll fix
Why doesn't he just slap some MIDI gel on it already?
These are my people. I'm going.
Just because you survived one suicide mission doesn't mean you get two.
And if we're being honest, he barely survived that. If we'd let Jacob have things his way, he would have had his head blown in by a collector.
Goddamn, Jacob is also the only one who doesn't really assist on their personal mission.
Will do.
Even Zaid and Kasumi are treated better in the game's writing. And they might not even exist in 3 if you don't have the DLC.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but even the bot is more helpful.
Of course.
I saw you almost ask about her relationship with Jacob.
I decided to save that for last. If we're going to spill the tea, we might as well get the boring stuff out the way.
Oh yay, tea time.
I had access to cutting-edge tech and all the personnel I needed. The elusive man spares no expense for technical perfection.
That technical perfection's almost killed me a few times.
It also saved your life.
Well, she's got us there. We'd be a corpse right now, if not for Cerberus, or worse, in the hands of the collectors.
Isn't everyone's?
So what's this work of yours that Cerberus wants so badly?
It's based on tech gathered from the collectors. In essence, it involves dissecting Reaper-to-Collector communications.
That doesn't sound good.
It's highly likely what Bryn is referring to here is the Reaper technology Cerberus uses to strengthen its troops. It's also probably the same kind of tech used on Paul Grayson in Retribution.
He disappeared.
How did you get away?
I was a loyal senior employee. There's a lot of freedom in that. When our 4th colleague disappeared, we organized and were out the door in days.
Damn, it took 4 for them to realize something was up. I would have been out of there in 2.
All right, the fun thing about having 2 daughters is that you learn a thing or two about how to gossip. So who wants to hear about the drama between a female shepherd who romanced Jacob and Bryn?
Oh, this should be good.
We come down on Jacob a lot for cheating on Shepard, but it's worth pointing out that Bryn admits to being the one who initiated things, and she also says that Jacob apparently still loves Shepard in spite of that.
Goddamn, that's messy.
Okay, see, I used to think the deal with Shepard and Jacob was just a Tinder date hookup, but if Bryn is saying he still has feelings, then I guess it was serious business.
Bryn only tells Shepard that because she wants to say that she feels the best place for Jacob is with her, which Shepard can either agree with or end the conversation right there.
Well, the pair of them are welcome to each other.
What's really crazy is it'll be announced later on that Jacob and Bryn are expecting a child, so if he's still got feelings, he better resolve that shit real soon.
I know I'm kind of throwing stones from inside a glass building here, but they really did write Jacob to be annoying. It's like Mako in The Legend of Korra, but worse somehow.
At least Mako catches a body in book 3.
All right, Jacob, I'll give you your 5 minutes of fame.
Well, like you said earlier, Barry, we didn't romance him, so he's just a guy we happen to know, so I guess we can be decent to him.
Jacob is lucky all my hateful energy was spent on Kai Lang and Gavin earlier. I got to store up for when the bots come back.
Crazy. I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
I know the feeling. So how'd you become a gun for hire?
Long story. It was an opportunity I couldn't resist for people I came to care about.
Well, it's good that he's at least doing something productive.
Look good.
Did we just say he looks good when he still has an open bullet wound?
Defending their ideals, I like it. I think I found what I'm meant to do.
Okay, that's nice and all, but you might want to hit the practice range because you won't be doing this for much longer if this is the best you can perform.
Well, things look different when you come back from a suicide mission alive. So I quit Cerberus. I quit everything. And sat by the Mediterranean for a while.
That's when I lost track of you.
So while Miranda had to go on the run from Cerberus, Jacob was chilling out at the beach. Don't the two of them have history?
Jacob and Miranda were something at some point for some amount of time, but yeah. It's kind of odd that Miranda's apparent top lieutenant was taking it easy while she was running for her life.
What's actually really fucking funny is that the elusive man apparently didn't care about hunting Jacob down.
Sure.
Keep in mind, he even had people looking for Kelly by name, and all she did was read our emails and feed our fish.
And to think the Shadow Broker says killing Jacob will cripple Cerberus.
So much for being decent to Jacob here. We're still reading the guy to filth.
Just making observations. This isn't just regular old shit talk like it is with Kai
We
Lang.
met through a mutual friend in the Mumbai cell. Guess I've known her for a year.
Okay, hold on. Jacob has known Bryn for a year, and at the absolute most, they've been together for 6 months, right?
That does appear to be the case.
So he hooks up with Bryn, and in 6 months, he's got her carrying a kid, and we're in the middle of a galactic invasion, and even assuming we do win this thing, the whole galaxy is going to be a total disaster. They're going to birth a kid into that environment.
Well, yeah, not the best family planning by Jacob and Bryn there.
It's always some dumbass having a baby during or after an apocalyptic event.
Anything on Cerberus I should know about?
The elusive man became obsessed with indoctrination. I know that. You ever wonder how it all went wrong? I mean, was I blind?
Oddly enough, Jacob, between you and Miranda, you were the least blind. You do admit to having issues with some of Cerberus's past actions and said your continued service with them was conditional on the elusive man walking his talk.
That was like one of 3 good things about Jacob.
You still think about what happened to your dad?
Haunts me more like. At least he did the right thing in the end. I went back to Aiea a few months later, buried him where they dumped him, and put up a gravestone. Only because my mother would have wanted that.
I thought that was cut out of the game.
Yeah, mods restored the voice line.
Well, it's nice that there's a gravestone for us to go piss on when we get a little free time.
Got the jump.
I love getting the perfect setup to dunk on Cerberus.
Jesus Christ, the sound of that gun does something to me.
Donald, we're in the White House. Settle down.
I'm the president now. If I want to be horny in the White House, it's well within my right.
You'd hardly be the first president to do that.
But seriously, the Striker assault rifle is such a satisfying gun. I'm not even playing and I feel the enjoyment.
I'm sure you'd like to know that it's technically a gun for Krogan.
And it gets even better.
It was mainly marketed within the Krogan DMZ, but was later designed to be fired by non-Krogan similar to the M300 Claymore. The Striker is noted as still off-balancing smaller species, but whoever is being targeted by the firearm has more to worry about than the shooter being a little off-balance.
Yeah, good luck closing in when you're being staggered and reduced to a red paste by a constant stream of grenades.
Jacob, dish should be back online now.
Affirmative, but the guns are still down. You'll need to manually activate them. Head back to the front of the facility.
Do we really need Jacob to walk us through this?
I guess the guy has to be involved somehow.
Heads up, shuttles!
We've got the right amount of ammunition right now.
Damn, that's nice.
I was wondering which one of you was going to notice that first.
Gotta get him off that gun! Move up, keep low and find cover.
You were really trying to blow that corpse to smithereens.
This grenade better not kill me.
Why did you think it would?
After that time Joe got fried by the grenade that flew on the other side of cover on Grissom Academy, I've been a bit worried.
Man, bro is hitting absolutely nothing with that turret.
He knows the moment he hits Shepard, his ass is getting obliterated.
Looks like he gave up on using the turret.
It was entirely cosmetic anyway.
God damn it, I was going to farm a clip off that guy, but Garrus took the kill.
You got to be faster than that.
Okay, one of us has to make these repairs.
Well, who else but the Reaper-powered super artificial intelligence?
I need you to fix this.
I will make the repairs.
Ready, Garrus? Let them do their worst.
All right, let's f*** him up Garrus.
The dynamic duo.
Now that's what I like to fucking see, Barack, getting in there and mixing it up.
Blowing that guy up point blank is crazy.
How are the repairs coming?
I'm surprised she isn't getting that done instantly.
I'm thinking it's a mechanical failure, not a software one. She can't hack her way out of that one. Garrus, let me get this clip.
A flying fist onto the back of that dude's dome is devious work from you, but I approve.
Whoa, don't let that phantom stab you, Barry.
That was a little funny. You started feeding her the hands, and she tried to cartwheel away from you just to get blown up.
Yeah, as it turns out, bringing a sword and acrobatics when you're fighting someone who can make your body explode doesn't exactly work too well.
Gotcha. I'm on it.
You're looking good this episode, Barry. Whatever happened to you last time seems to have left you.
Thank God. Hopefully it travels back to you or Donald.
Oh, hell no. Keep that negative energy away from me.
I don't want it either. I've died enough.
Okay, the guns are already picking Cerberus ships out of the sky.
We did your job for you, Jacob. How's that little boo-boo you've got?
First shuttle is already loaded with everyone under 16.
He's not walking like I do when I'm having one of my bad days, so he must be fine.
Jacob, what do you think? Are we ready?
Almost. We could go now, but there's no do-overs here.
Agreed. We get one shot.
And we don't want to leave anything behind that could strengthen the elusive man.
Is there any real point in delaying?
Nope, not at all. There's nothing to be lost or gained. I think it's just if you want to go change your guns or something.
Evacuation is go. Evacuation is go. Stand by for shuttle launch.
Have the guns punch a hole in the perimeter, then launch Shuttle 1.
Wait, there were only 2 of them?
They said the guns were already knocking the planes out.
In 2, they would have made us try to fight these helicopters using small firearms.
I wish I were allowed to shoot them with the striker.
All right, everyone here head to the shuttle bay and...
Suicide fighter took out one of the guns. Cerberus
Well, that didn't take long.
Get those people out of here.
Make yourself useful this time, Taylor. We're not going to be around to save your ass again.
If he would just remember that he's a biotic, he would be fine.
Well, those guys dropped in to get completely clapped in no time.
Here we go.
All right, let's get it.
Understood.
All right, let's get ready to die.
Nope, not this time.
That bad energy is starting to gather again.
Man, I'm pretty sure I destroyed these on my way in.
Kind of makes sense that they would fix those.
What the hell is that moving in the back there?
Oh, it's a named enemy from the mobile games added in the Cerberus Retrofits mod.
Inali Renata, what game does she, I'm guessing, come from?
She comes from Mass Effect Infiltrator. She's a member of Cerberus and handler of Randall Enzo. In 2186, she was experimented on at a Cerberus space station known as the Barn.
Oh, damn, she's strong as hell.
Yes, she's quite strong, actually. In the mobile game, she can use the biotic charge.
Too bad about that death, Barry. You were doing good.
Hey, Joe, you know, if I had installed these sooner, you would have had to fight a Praetorian on Tuchanka.
Excuse me?
Oh, hell nah. Uninstall this shit. I am not trying to see those again.
Nope, both of you had too much of an easy time last episode. We're leveling this up from here. Now let me lock in and kick the crap out of Inali.
Can you believe this bullshit, Joe?
We had easy times while Barry struggled, and he makes it harder for us.
You guys will be fine. I'm sure absolutely nothing will surprise you when you play Omega next time, Joe.
I really don't like the sound of that.
All right, look alive. I see your girlfriend starting to pull up.
I see her. She's not getting the drop on me this time.
Wait, is that Terminus armor? Not a bad fit.
Goddamn, she's tough. You're all firing at her, and her health is barely dropping.
That shield pylon was making it harder. But it's worth pointing out that Inali is the final boss of Infiltrator and boasts the strongest defenses in the game.
Good lord, she's tankier than a brute.
Another thing is that in the game, her biotic barrier can recharge over time, which seems to be reflected in this mod by her shields recharging.
She's kind of cooking you here.
Yeah, I am not locked in at all, if I'm being honest.
You're playing Mass Effect like it's a turn-based game.
Fuck you, Donald. All right, she's dragging it. Hurry up and die.
Well, there she goes. She's all over the place now.
Thank God.
So you said she's the final boss in that mobile game? Shouldn't she be dead?
It's a possibility after Randall Enzo, who I should point out is the protagonist of Infiltrator defeats Anali, she'll either be killed or allowed to live depending on the morality you've built. In earlier versions of the game, it was entirely up to the player to decide in the moment. So it's possible for Anali to be alive here. Or perhaps Cerberus revived her somehow, who knows?
I just pulled up a video of that game. It actually doesn't look like total ass like that one Jacob is in.
What is Garrus shooting at?
Looks like he's shooting at nothing.
Come in. What's your status?
Bro's playing a prank on you. It's not April Fool's anymore.
Garrus was shooting at empty air while there was an actual enemy on the other side of the battlefield. Also, Mass Effect Infiltrator impacted your war assets. Intel points could be uploaded to the old Galaxy at War system to increase your galactic readiness. And completing the game unlocked the Cerberus escapees war asset, which could net you between 40 and 120 points.
Man, they really love making you interact with completely different things so you could actually get a good ending in 3.
These war assets aren't possible to unlock anymore, since Infiltrator can't be acquired. Well, not legally anyway.
I think there's a guy stuck on top that structure.
I'll lose it if I have to reload.
Now you'll know how I felt on Miranda's loyalty mission.
I think you got him with the grenades, either that or he finally died after all that screaming.
That was the last of the
Good thing that mech didn't drop and land directly on the shuttle that just flew past us.
Yeah, sure thing, Taylor. You say it's overrun and it's probably like 3 guys?
Oh shit, that was close.
I might have jinxed you when I said the bad energy left you.
Not to add more to your plate, but I'm pretty sure I heard a combat engineer back there.
One thing at a time.
Damn, Edie just ate that rocket.
She'll be fine. She's resistant to small arms fire.
I don't think a rocket from the Atlas mech counts as small arms, Joe.
The turret must have gotten blown up by Garrus, I guess.
I need support right before you get obliterated is a pretty funny way to go out.
The last words of a Spider-Man main when they try to 1v6 the enemy team.
Roger that.
Goddamn, where did all of those guys come from?
Okay, that's my bad, Taylor. You were right, the place is overrun.
I swear that was more people than Cerberus had on the Citadel attack.
Honestly, I wish we could fight this many people in a Dynasty Warriors style Mass Effect game.
Shepard!
I guess this counts as Jacob helping out on his mission.
Bro cracked a smile like he really did something here. Let's not forget what happened at the start.
You know, now that I think about it, Jacob survived a cutscene bullet back there.
Only because it scratched him.
Out by the skin of our teeth again, hey, Shepard?
I don't know why they're pretending
Nice to see you
Shepard
back
struggled
in
back there. That Atlas knocking us off our feet is about as difficult as things got.
We didn't get anyone out alive. But because of you, we got almost everyone. Thank you.
Dr. Cole, I have a request. One you can't afford to turn down. I need your help against the Reapers.
Without a doubt. I'm at your service.
Getting former
And I'm
Cerberus
sure
to
you can
align
count
with
on
us
the
against
others
the
as well.
Reapers being easier than getting the Salarians and Asari is crazy.
I need you.
Of course, but I wouldn't mind staying with these folks.
We weren't really inviting you back onto the Normandy anyway. You're like bottom of the list.
You don't want to join the team on the Normandy?
I'm torn, Shepard, but looking out for these families is important to me. It's where I'm at right now. I hope you can see that.
Yeah, sure, Jacob. You just better ready up for next time because we won't do your job for you again.
Keep them safe, then. The Alliance needs that crucible.
You got it.
All right. Report to Admiral Hackett for your assignment.
You know, Commander, I've never met anyone like you. Just feel better knowing you're on our side.
You're just recognizing the main character
Shepard,
energy.
when this mess is over, drinks are on me. Be safe out there.
Hackett here.
I'm sending you a large team of scientists.
So Jacob just babysits those people throughout the rest of the game?
According to the war assets, Jacob is offered reinstatement into the Alliance, but turns it down because he thinks his past with Cerberus disqualifies him.
Damn, that was our chance to send him to Earth so he could get shot by a Reaper.
Instead of that, Jacob advises the Alliance on Cerberus tactics and defenses, and he participates in missions that target the elusive man's holdings.
The sooner we can get the Crucible finished, the better I'll feel.
I'm with you.
Shepard out.
Shepard out? Hackett let someone else sign off?
I think we initiated this call, so signing off was on us. Short look at the emails here just to say we've got some hangouts to complete with the squad, but we'll be saving that for later.
I see Miranda is also waiting on us.
More important, Bao is waiting to meet with us, which means we can finally see Kasumi again.
Not sure why Bao doubled up on the email, but we'll see something interesting when we meet up with Kasumi again, all things in due time though.
How's Jacob?
Well, he's still a loser, so the same old guy.
Glad to hear it. Nice to see those Cerberus scientists come to their senses.
After everything he's done, the elusive man can't pretend he's fighting for humanity.
I thought that was evident after he lured the collectors to Horizon, but I guess some people need a bit more convincing.
What's on your mind, Edie?
Liara recently requested assistance in calculating whether the mass effect...
All right, title drop, roll credits.
Sometimes I forget the game is called Mass Effect because of the Mass Effect fields.
It may be that our laws of physics only occur in a finite area. A bubble, if you will, in an ocean of other possibilities. I am speculating whether, if you went far enough out, or created enough energy, you could reach a place where 1 + 1 = 3.
What in the hell are we yapping about right now?
All energy, all matter, all the underlying math of the universe would be unrecognizable to us. Why? What were you thinking?
I think I just felt my brain become smoother in real time listening to that.
I don't know about other universes, but Element Zero does exist in the Mass Effect Andromeda's Helios cluster, which would imply that the Mass Effect does exist there as well, though the Angora and Ket seem unfamiliar with it. It's time for another chat with Caden.
Man, I swear Ashley doesn't have conversations like this.
You're right, she doesn't.
What's up?
Despite Mass Effect 3 defaulting to Ash, she has fewer of these actual cutscene dialogues than Caden. There is some cut content for Ash in Mass Effect 3, where following Priority Citadel 2, she'll talk with Liara about the recent events on the Normandy. She'll ask for an update, to which Glyph offers to send her audio and video footage of recent events.
That thing is going around recording things on the ship?
Ashley asks about the same thing. Liara says Glyph shouldn't be recording things on the Normandy, but apparently it got it with permission from Edie.
We gotta have a talk with Edie just because she can see everything doesn't mean Glyph should.
I believe that cut Ashley dialogue is restored in the Expanded Galaxy mod, so if Ash had been alive here, we'd see it.
God damn it, Joe.
Hey, I didn't know we were going to mod the hell out of 3 when we got to it.
There's also a long conversation with Shepard where Ash talks about what she was thinking about while at the hospital.
You know,
she thanks you for stopping by, stating that being in hospitals makes her nervous. Eventually, she moves on to asking Shepard about their experience being dead, asking if you saw a bright light or a dark tunnel.
That's like one of the few times Shepard having died and come back is brought up.
It does make sense that Ashley would be the one to ask.
If you were hoping for an answer on what happens when we die, you won't get one.
Saved your life.
Shepard says they don't remember much. They recall a sharp pain in their chest, and they could feel the air being sucked from their lungs. It apparently didn't take long for them to see nothing but darkness. The next thing Shepard sees is a light in a Cerberus lab, probably when we briefly woke up and went into cardiac arrest. This dialogue has some good character building. Shepard admits to having panicked and shut down when they realize what Cerberus did to bring them back, only managing to push the fear away long enough to deal with the collectors. However, while in Alliance lockup, Shepard was left with all the time to confront their fears that they might be some incomplete copy of Commander Shepard.
Jesus Christ, that was dialogue in the game?
Please tell me a mod restores that.
Not that I know of. I don't believe that bit of dialogue was ever voice acted.
What I wouldn't give for Mass Effect 3 to have spent an additional year in development.
Okay. Well, thanks, Shepard. I'm glad we could talk about this.
What were we talking about with Caden? I got caught up in the cut Ashley content.
Something about how some people in Cerberus are good or whatever.
See, I told you he's boring. We spent the whole time talking about stuff that isn't even in the game instead of listening to him.
Joker has a terrible poker face.
Great. Well, I like a challenge. See you around.
You bet.
Are you sure you want to play this game?
What's going on over here?
Carrion? You chicken?
I don't even know what that is, though I've heard everything in the galaxy tastes like it.
You probably taste like it too. You're lucky I've warmed up to you or I'd ask for a bite.
Donald Turians have a metallic carapace with trace amounts of thulium in it. I don't think trying to eat one would be entirely pleasant. Stick to Solarian livers.
How about we don't eat the other sapient species at all?
That's no fun, Joe.
Please, I fought off a dozen angry Batarians on Omega single-handedly. Used one of them as a landing pad off a 3-story jump.
This is true. James does this in the Mass Effect Conviction comic, which takes place after the Arrival DLC. It's when Anderson recruits Vega to guard Shepard in Alliance custody.
And unleashing the Reapers 3 years ago.
Doesn't count. You did that with Shepard.
You're right.
Did he just try to take credit for our accomplishments in the first game?
Garrus, I love you like a brother, but you weren't even the second most important member of the squad in Mass Effect 1.
I'm glad Jacob saw through the elusive man. At least not everyone in Cerberus has lost their mind. This fight can use him.
Yeah, sure, as cannon fodder, maybe.
Don't mind us. Just telling James here what it means to be a real soldier. Still think you can win this, huh?
I can do this all day, Scars.
I wonder what nickname he'd give Garrus if he hadn't tried to eat a rocket in 2.
He'd probably call him something related to birds.
I think that's just a you thing, Donald.
Archangel.
Maybe I heard something about that too.
Then maybe you also heard that for a couple months there, the crime rate on Omega...
House cleaning is an interesting way to say you just went around blowing people's heads off Garrus.
Which, if we're being honest, did f*** all to the crime rate on Omega.
Back on Fel Prime, I uncovered a pair of harvesters. Had to kill them by myself.
Wait, is that true?
James does not fight any harvesters while he's on Fel Prime during Paragon Lost.
That's not even the best part. They left behind an egg. It hatched, and I trained it to let me fly it.
Yeah, bro is out of accolades to combat Garrus with.
Teach you to make up crap like that, or did you figure it out all by yourself?
It's a gift.
Well, if N7 training doesn't work out for you, James, you've got potential in writing fairy tales for children.
You've been through a lot, Scars.
You giving up?
Nah, I got more. Just don't like to talk about it.
I guess he didn't want to talk about what actually happened on Fel Prime.
I can respect that. Paragon Lost was not exactly a happy ending for James.
Except there was this one time I teamed up with a Turian named Garrus Vicarian. He was pretty good with a gun, but he thought he was some kind of hotshot.
If we give him the Typhoon again, James won't be talking crazy.
James can use the Typhoon too, you know.
Yeah, but it's called God Mode Garrus, not James, for a reason.
Always got on my nerves. But the kid was all right. Had guts when it counted.
Yeah, it takes a special kind of idiot. Guts, to crash your shuttle into another one when you have guns and could have just shot it.
And finally kick the Reapers from this galaxy and into the next.
I like the sound of that. Let's send the Reapers after the Andromeda Initiative. They travel stupid fast, right? They'll probably catch up to the Arcs.
You and this human called Jacob were both part of Cerberus.
That is correct.
Javik wasted no time getting around to interrogating Edie.
Traitors to humanity.
Yes, they oppose us in this war.
Then why should we trust either of you?
I don't know. Maybe because we've been destroying Cerberus operations and killing hundreds of their guys for the last 9 episodes.
Where this is going. I have superseded my original programming and have chosen to oppose Cerberus.
You mean you have chosen to oppose your creators?
Correct.
I find this a very troubling freedom machine. That is all.
Javik does know that if Edie wanted to eject this part of the ship from the Normandy, she could do it right now and nothing could stop her, right?
I think we'd better keep that one to ourselves.
There was nowhere left to run. I trust you, Commander, when you say you no longer expedite Cerberus's goals.
All right, Gramps, you might have spent hundreds of years killing Reapers back in your cycle, but you don't want this smoke.
Gonna show the old man real soon that we're not the cavemen he's familiar with.
Wait, where is Kenneth at?
Maybe Gabby can fill us in.
Thanks, Commander. That GX-12 thermal pipe arrived. We're performing the modifications right now.
Oh, right, I forgot they have Ken install it.
You're the power control engineer, not me.
Damn hot in here. Hey, didn't Adam say that all the Normandy is Edie?
Oh my God, he's a genius.
Okay, once again, Edie can definitely hear all of this.
He'll get jealous.
Dig up any information on the mission, Liara?
All right, let's get to the last mission of the day.
Thank God we're finally gonna reunite with Mommy Samara.
I forgot to DoorDash some McDonald's this time, Barry. Donald is going to start going feral again.
Don't worry, I'm sure we'll avoid that scenario this time.
These Archangel lived in the monastery, so they wouldn't or couldn't harm anyone. However, they're still powerful biotics and potentially very dangerous.
But aren't these Archangel here specifically because they don't lead dangerous lives?
There appears to be a lot of ignorance around R.Yakshi. which makes sense because the Asari go to great lengths to hide the condition. According to the Codex, the Ardate Yakshi condition is actually a spectrum, and contrary to belief, they're not extremely rare, as around 1% of Asari dwell on said spectrum. Thessia by itself has 5.5 billion Asari, which would put around 55 million of them as Ardate Yakshi.
This big of a threat?
That's without counting any of the other Asari worlds like Ilium.
I guess that supports the idea that the PTSD Asari soldier's friend was an Ardate Yakshi herself.
See, I told you I wasn't crazy for wanting to be with an Ardate Yakshi.
Donald, you wanted to be with Morinth, and she's one of the dangerous ones.
The Codex also explains that not all Ardate Yakshi are murderers. However, most cultivate and discard countless exploitative or abusive relationships during their lives. It explains that they aren't capable of long-term cooperation. However, Ayan's friend, Naira, must have been able to manage her condition if she could serve as an Asari commando.
This begs the question, why did Samara say she only knew of her daughters?
I mean, it's not like Samara had to know about the other Ardate Yakshi personally. She does say there might be more.
Samara might be a Justicar and a matriarch, but I don't think that necessarily means she has access to privileged information like how many Ardate Yakshi there are and where they all live. It's also possible she did know there were millions of them and she just decided to not tell Shepard about it because, you know, it's something the Asari are actively trying to hide.
No elevator or power.
Oh, great, a dark elevator shaft. Exactly what I need at my age.
I can already hear the shrieks of my worst nightmare.
The atmosphere of this mission is so good.
There's a lot more than one.
Did you hear that? Stay sharp.
Not this game trying to jump scare us.
I heard something.
I, tripped. Sorry.
The first mission we take him on after the Citadel coup, and he's tripping over stuff.
Okay, so this proves that there are other Ardate Yakshi here besides Samara's remaining daughters.
Samara probably never actually came to the monastery, I'm guessing.
Well, she's lucky things went to shit here because her friend did not delete the message, again apparently. Oh boy, here she comes.
Get ready, audience. Donald is going to start barking.
Very good.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Hey, wait a minute. What the hell?
What's the matter, Donald?
Why in the hell are Samara's breasts covered? What kind of nonsense is this?
In the interest of keeping Donald from going insane and making us have to buy food just to sate him, I opted to have Samara wear a more conservative outfit which is supplied thanks to mods.
I hate this, and I hate you for doing it, Barack.
Yeah, whatever. I've had enough of you behaving like an animal.
Well, I think the outfit looks good on her, more practical than that skin-tight suit that doesn't appear to offer any real protection.
Yeah, you'll say that because your girl still has her nipples visible for the whole world to see.
Lore-wise, we can just say Samara decided to suit up due to the increasing tensions of the Reaper invasion.
Monastery's rules ever since they arrived. They've shown no inclination toward violence.
And you're here to save them.
They are my responsibility. And it's one that cannot be abandoned, even as our galaxy crumbles.
At least somebody in this damn universe is a decent parent.
As decent as a parent can be when they turn one of their kids' heads into a squashed watermelon.
Morinth got everything she deserved.
I wonder how long it took for someone to come up there and find Morinth's corpse.
Probably not long, and Morinth is far from the only person to be killed and left in their apartment on Omega.
We'll meet again. I will draw these creatures off.
Wait.
You see, that's the difference between Jacob and Samara. Jacob damn near dies. Meanwhile, Samara walks off and handles her business.
Having Jacob's mission be unlocked at basically the same time as Samara's far better mission was an interesting decision.
Are they making us deliver another dead person's last words to their surviving significant other again?
If this alliance thing doesn't pan out, we should start charging to do this.
There'd be no better time to do it too. Tons of people are dying and are probably leaving last words. You know, assuming they aren't vaporized.
Well, that's another sad side story to add to the list.
This place is enormous. There must have been thousands of people living here.
Thousands of Asari, you say?
Donald, again, they're Ardat Yakshi.
I wonder how many of them were actually here.
There had to be quite a lot given how many Banshees there are.
Aren't Banshees made from any kind of Asari?
The Codex says that the Reapers created Banshees specifically from Asari with an active or latent predisposition to becoming Ardat Yakshi, which would explain the lethality that Banshees have.
And speaking of which, here's our very first one.
I hate it. Kill it with fire.
What's wrong? I thought you liked the Asari that could kill you with a touch.
That thing is not an Asari. It's an insult to my eyes.
You're braver than I am, Barry.
I won't let it grab me.
That went down fairly easy.
The Codex also states that when Banshees die, their Ardate Yakshi genetics apparently twist against them, causing a biotic implosion that ensures they evade capture. It's likely the Reapers don't want anyone studying them.
I'm not trying to drag the corpse of one of those things around anyway.
Barry, you know how you said Arda Yakshi is a spectrum and that it can be active or latent? I wonder if Liara is on it and we just don't know.
Liara is an Asari born of two other Asari, which is a prerequisite for the disorder, but we know it's not true. You embrace eternity with Liara when you romance her, and even setting that aside, there's at least one canonical embrace eternity you have to do in Mass Effect 1. Plus, Liara is well past the age of 40 when the condition is supposed to surface.
Why is that cannibal possessed?
Hold up, the possessed enemies are here?
Yeah, the Reaper retrofits bring them into the main game.
I know I faced enemies like that in the Armax Arsenal arena.
Possessed enemies will have some different abilities that I'm sure will surprise you at some point. They're also tougher than their non-possessed counterparts.
For an Ardate Yakshi, her biotics sure look pretty weak. Now that's more like it. I was tripping before. Samara's still bad as hell, even if she's covered up.
Hey, Donald, remember when I said you wouldn't like what I had to say about the default state of this mission?
Oh, God, don't tell me Samara isn't here by default.
Samara is, in fact, not here by default.
Default Mass Effect 3 is straight dog shit. Barack, I owe you a thank you for convincing me to play Mass Effect 1 and 2, even though I tried to avoid doing it.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to put someone onto peak when I have the chance.
So what is this mission like without Samara?
The game treats things as if Samara was killed on her loyalty mission or didn't survive the suicide mission. Instead of meeting with Samara, you'll skip straight to seeing Fallair. She admits to being an Ardad Yakshi and pleads with Shepard to help rescue Ryla. The game treats things as if Samara was killed on her loyalty mission or didn't survive the suicide mission. Instead of meeting with Samara, you'll skip straight to seeing Fallair. She admits to being an Ardat Yakshi and pleads with Shepard to help rescue Ryla. She also explains that only their teachers were trained in combat biotics, which is why her attempt at a biotic throw earlier was so terrible.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to teach them how to fight.
Without Samara here to calm her down, Fallair will storm off when you eventually bring up the fact that we're here to blow up the monastery. From then on, things mostly go on as you expect.
But wait, what happens at the end? Samara ends up being torn over killing her last kid.
So at the end of the mission, Fallair will claim that she's the last of her kind, which probably isn't true, but I digress. She asks Shepard to leave her here alone at the monastery, which you can oblige. Or if you're feeling particularly sinister, you can shoot Fallair dead yourself.
Yep, there's that Sith Lord Mass Effect 3 renegade I was looking for.
I'm guessing the rationale for that is we can't let the Reapers get her.
That is what Shepard will claim. To her credit, Fallair faces her death with dignity here. Her last words are, "Then I go to join my sister."
Well, she is Samara's daughter after all, tough as nails.
All right, back to it.
You're getting lit up, bro.
I think I'm fine.
Don't go getting sloppy at the end.
Barry, respectfully, what the hell was that?
Didn't I just say to not get sloppy?
All right, High Key, I don't know what happened there. Serious lapse in my attention span.
That's not like you at all. Are you good?
I guess I'm getting old.
Amen to that, brother.
Oh, don't you start with that shit, too. I get enough of it from Joe.
Okay, now, what if I make the exact same mistake a second time?
Well, you'd be back on track with your typical 3 deaths an episode.
I'm just kidding, of course. I won't be dying here again.
Are you sure about that?
It's all good. Vanguard has a free redo.
It's the best class in the game for a reason.
I still think Adept is better.
Oh God, not another one.
That shriek sometimes makes my skin crawl.
There's something about the banshees that's just plain unsettling. Even the Rachni aren't as disturbing, and those are giant spiders.
It's the fact that they pressure you by teleporting around until they're right on top of you. One time one grabbed me while I wasn't looking, and I about damn near shit myself.
Barack, I respect you for charging into the Banshee at the same time it used its Nova-like ability, but that's crazy even for me.
Charging into banshees is actually safe as long as you disengage immediately.
I'll continue keeping my distance, thanks.
Understandable, getting grabbed by a banshee is not a fun time at all. Oh, I miscalculated.
And looks like we're back to 3 deaths. I wonder if Barack will give us his second worst episode of the trilogy, or will he go for another record worst?
How many deaths is that total for Barry right now?
I'm pretty sure that was 18.
Inside single digits again. Now I just need Donald to start fumbling.
Don't get your hopes up. You have a long episode ahead of you with Omega.
Please, God, don't let me throw this again.
Hey, I can't help but notice you didn't go over the beta storyline for Samara's mission?
Oh, sorry, there's actually not much of a difference in it. There is mention of Falair and Rila being turned into murder machines and Asari being stitched together, but overall the narrative is the same.
I guess they can't all get huge changes. And it looks like you made it.
Don't speak too soon. He's still got one last round of combat.
I'm not looking forward to the last room, to be honest.
Rila? Rila, can you hear me?
I don't think Rila is here at the moment.
Nah, she's fried, bro. We gotta get out of here.
That's not good.
Those have to be the eyes the PTSD Asari saw when she was on Tiptree.
It's a good thing Rila isn't fully under Reaper control, because Ayan said that Nyera was turning people to liquid with just a touch.
Because they've begun to turn her into one of the Reaper's creatures.
I'm sorry.
Well, it could be worse. They didn't get Falair.
Can we set off that bomb?
Not without a detonator.
Commandos would have had one. We've got to find it.
Oh, hell nah.
God, I love that the mods can give your squad mates the guns they're carrying in cutscenes, because why did Caden just pop a heat sink out of the particle rifle?
Hey, I don't mean to alarm you, but there are 2 Banshees.
Yeah, I know, it's actually fairly easy to kite them here. And I run away to the other side of the room.
It's a good thing these Banshees only had husks with them.
That's the one that wants smoke with you.
As long as Garrus and Caden can manage to not die and their 2v1, things will work out. And I run away to the other side of the room again.
That Banshee is on your ass, though.
Garrus is just chilling behind that wall watching Shepard haul ass.
Samara, Falair, and Rila are fine. Please get out here and help us.
Now that I think about it, it's a really good thing Rila didn't transform into a Banshee while they were inside that bubble. Things would have gotten real ugly really fast. And 1 freakish abomination down, 1 more to go. The cannibals gave me more trouble than the Banshees.
Looks like it's back to 3 deaths, not a total disaster for you.
It turns out Banshees are all scream and no orgasm.
Joe, what the f did you just say?
Nah, hold up. I think the writing there was fire.
I knew you'd appreciate that one, Donald. I thought about it in between episodes.
I'm just going to ignore that and move on.
Falair, go. Take the elevator. Rila, what are you doing?
Samara explained it to you. Rila is cooked.
There are hundreds coming. Just go.
Oh my God, there are hundreds of those things. We gotta get the hell out of here.
Gotta give Rila her points for fighting off indoctrination and securing the detonator.
Move!
I'm pretty sure the only reason she didn't blow the place up sooner is because she was holding out for Falair to get to safety.
Like I said before, that's Samara's daughter. She's tough as nails.
Too bad Morinth couldn't be as good as her younger sisters.
Oh, gross. Put those grippers away, bro.
Not keen on having your neck stepped on this time?
Jesus Christ, they're hideous. You couldn't pay me to touch one of those things with a 50-foot pole from inside a titanium box.
You know it's bad because banshees are naked and have their boobs out and Donald can't even enjoy it?
It would have been really funny if Falaire's hand or something got caught in the door.
Yikes, this is a real painful way to go.
I'm not going to hold you. I'm hitting the button before I let myself be face-to-face with a banshee like this.
We are not your slaves.
Solid last words, Rila. Impressive performance for a character with like 5 minutes of screen time.
She did more here than Jacob did in the last mission.
Thank God that didn't stop the elevator.
Falaire, if it makes you feel better, Shepard lost their parents, Caden's dad is probably dead, and Garrus lost his mom, so we're all kind of going through it right now.
Joe, I don't think that's going to help.
Rila, it wasn't even time to say goodbye.
At least you got to hear I love you. Joker doesn't even know what's happened to his
Few
sister.
can break the Reaper's hold. Rila's will was extraordinary, as was her love for you.
We left her to die.
At least she died as herself and not as a banshee.
Rila made her choice, and it has reminded me of what is truly important. Why I swore I'd lay down my life.
What is that?
Falaire, the code demands an Ardat Yakshi cannot live outside a monastery that no longer exists.
That doesn't sound good.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Shepard. By the Justicar's code, there is only one way to save Falaire.
Mother, no!
My daughters.
Yeah, all right, Samara, I can't let that happen.
You're goddamn right you can't.
Samara refusing to do her duty this time is a crazy moment for her character.
The code is the only thing that gave Samara the strength to kill Morinth, but when faced with her final daughter, who is also completely innocent, there's no way she could stick to it.
You won't have to.
It's a good thing Falaire is disciplined enough to stick true to her own code.
I'll stay here. Home. No matter what's become of it.
Without a proper monastery,
I could have left any time. I don't need a building to honor my own code. And if the Reapers return, they won't take me alive. I promise.
God damn, this whole family besides Morinth is so cold.
I really wish we knew who the father of Samara's children was.
Then the code permits you to stay, as you are.
Come on, hug her back, Samara.
Once this war is over, and if I am able, I will visit, as a Justicar should.
Yeah, sure, as a Justicar you can just say as their mother, you know.
She's been using that Justicar thing to justify everything she does.
So for the record, if you let Samara kill herself, you'll be given the option to let Falaire stay here or kill her yourself anyway, which makes Samara's sacrifice totally pointless.
Gotta be one of the worst things you can do. Not too far away from betraying Morden and
I'll
Rex.
speak with Falaire, then join your forces. If you'll have me, of course.
Please come back to the Normandy. I need you up in the captain's cabin.
Donald, there's one episode between us and seeing Tali again. Relax.
I can't wait that long.
You don't have a choice.
Everything's taken care of down here. Bring in the shuttle.
Right, Commander. I'll just follow the smoke.
Commander, I'm pleased to hear the Ardat Yakshi situation has been put to rest.
And it's time for me to put myself to rest for now. Next episode goes to Joe, and he's taking on a bit of a big boy mission.
Do I seriously have to do the whole goddamn Omega DLC in one episode?
We haven't been splitting missions in this series so far.
Omega's a long one, but I trust you can get it done.
All right, fine, bear with me though, it might take me a while.
When Joe finishes the 10th episode next time, we'll officially be halfway through Mass Effect 3.
Damn, it feels like it's taken a while, but at the same time, it's moving faster than ever.
We still got a long way to go though.
Yep, so stay buckled in. You know the drill. Stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, get some sleep, and we'll see you on the next one.